So you know what to play over the chord, you know the right scale, you know how to hit all the right extensions, and now you need to work on getting some more interesting rhythmical ideas. And that's what I'm going to cover in this lesson. If you're trying to learn a new arpeggio, you're probably not going to just take the arpeggio and think about it and try to use it on a tune. You're going to split it into some steps so that you can sort of gradually get it into your system and learn how to use it. So for an arpeggio that would be something like, instead of the whole neck, you're going to take one position, maybe only one octave, and then just practice the arpeggio, and then you're going to try to make some lines with it, and then try to use it in a song of some sort. You can do the same with the rhythm, of course, and that's what I'm going to go over in this lesson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you two rhythms, talk a little bit about how you practice the rhythms and how you work with them, and then show you how you can take them through a blues in F and make some lines with them to get them into your system. So the first rhythm I'm going to work on is this one. And that's probably what you want to do in the beginning. So just play it, keep time, and then just play the rhythm, get used to how it sounds. If you want to use this in an improvisation, you of course need to be able to make lines that use that rhythm. So since the goal is to use it in a blues in F, the best place to start is maybe just to try and play some lines with it over an F7 chord. So if I take this rhythm and then just try to make some lines over an F7, then that will be something like this. So just simple lines, you're just getting used to how it sounds, and then now that you kind of know the rhythm, you can try and take it through a blues in a medium tempo, and that will be something like this. So that's how it sounds if I move that rhythm through a blues in F. The goal is of course that you really get to the point where you can hear lines with that rhythm and that they'll come naturally without you having to worry too much about it. So in the beginning when you're working on it, you can also just start mixing it up. So you play the rhythm and then you play something else and then you return to the rhythm the same way that you would normally work on using an arpeggio or something. It's not going to fit on all the chords in a tune. But for practicing like this, it's good to just take that rhythm and then just force it through a tune to really force yourself to hear good melodies with that rhythm. The next rhythm I'm going to cover is this one. And while playing it in this way, just with one note, it's good to just listen and see if you can really feel that it sits right in the groove and that the accents are kind of where there are not really any accents, of course, but still within the groove there's always going to be some accents. It can be good to really have an idea like, okay, now it's sitting in the right place. So that means that when you're playing it, you still hear the rest of the groove. So while I'm playing, I'm kind of hearing the and trying to hear it in a context in the back of my head, which is also something that's going to help because you need to know it that well to really play good lines with it and to be able to use it in a solo. This is no different from really knowing your scales or really knowing your arpeggios. So if I try to make some lines on an F7 chord with this, then that will be something like this. And that's the kind of thing you want to work on first, and once that's sort of starting to flow, then you can of course try the other chords in the blues, or maybe just take a slow chorus first, or even with some breaks in between, that you take it through the blues like. So just giving yourself the time to think, so that you have the time to figure out what can I actually play on each chord to take it through the blues, before you then take it through the changes and try to play it with a backing track or with a loop pedal or whatever. If you take it through the blues, then that could sound something like this. Of course, when you're working on this, the next level is to not only work on it like an exercise, but then trying to put it to use and trying to really just apply it in a solo. And to demonstrate that, I made a chorus of the blues where I'm using the two rhythms, but I'm also using other things, and I'm sort of going back and forth and trying to play more freely using those two rhythms. And that's this chorus. So that was that exercise to get some new rhythms into your playing and taking it from sort of the very basic level of practice up to where you can use it on a simple tune like a blues in F. If you want to download the examples that I went over here, then you can go to my website. There's a PDF in the article that accompanies this lesson. If you want to check out more stuff on how to improvise on a blues, then I have several lessons on it. I also have some in my web store that are for sale that have some example solos written out and some comping examples and stuff like that. I'll link to that here. If you have never seen any of my lessons before, then you can of course subscribe to my channel. I publish a new lesson every Thursday, and I've been doing this for quite some time, so I'm almost at 100 lessons, and there's a lot of stuff on my channel about improvising guitar and jazz guitar in general. If you have any suggestions for topics or comments or things you think I should do differently or go into more in my lessons, then I would be happy to hear about it. So you can leave a comment on the video, or you can get in contact with me on social media. I'm on Facebook or Google Plus or Twitter or on Instagram. And it's nice to get some feedback, so if you have any suggestions, then they're of course welcome. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and until next week.